All right, so somebody asked me about this wonderful problem where you have two rectangular prisms that intersect. And basically, two buildings that kind of share this zone to them. So I'll do my best to draw this picture here. Um, so we have building, helps if you turn it on. I have building A, which is, a rectangular prism. And this is going to be kind of hidden. So I'm going to make that a dashed line and connect like this. Okay, so here's sort of building A. And then building B is a little bit further forward. Let's see, kind of like this. There we go. And so basically what we have is we have this little intersection zone that we're trying to figure out stuff about. So this little intersection zone, maybe I can make that purple because that's where red and blue combine. So this zone. Okay, so that's the basic picture. And we can find the surface area and the volume here. And they told us some measurements about building A and building B. So building A is 10 meters by 7.5 meters. So I think I'm assuming that means, oops, I'm going to use red for that. 10 meters by 7.5 meters. And they both have a height of 8 meters. So that looks good to me. Building B is 22 meters long and width is 11, and it's also 8 meters tall. So what we want to figure out is the total volume and the total surface area. So let's think about our little purple intersection zone here. What I want to do is this is going to make itself, it tells us the intersection forms a prism with a square base of 5. It's nice that they also told us that because otherwise there'd be no way to figure out exactly how far they intersect. So I can label this now as 5 meters by 5 meters. So to find the total volume then, what we can do is the volume is just going to be the volume of A plus the volume of B, and then minus the intersection. So let's call that volume of the intersection. So our volume is going to be A is just 8 times 7.5 times 10. B is 8 times 11 times 22. And the intersection is 8 times 5 times 5. There we go. All right, so at this point then, we just got to type all that in and see what pops out. So I typed everything in. There you go. Comes out to be 2336. So the total volume, 2336 cubic meters there. All right. But what I actually think is a more interesting problem, the book asked about the volume, but what I think about as a more interesting problem is what is the surface area of this shape. So we can find the surface area by adding up similarly our surface areas and then subtracting the part there that is um, covered up, or we can try to find all of the different constituent pieces to it. So it's sort of a choice of how you want to do it. So what I'll do is break it up into different pieces. So if we find the um, surface area of A, so let's find the surface area of A, and then we'll add on the surface area of B, and then we will subtract the surface area of the intersection. So the surface area of A, what we've got there is we've got a front and a back. So we've got two sides that are 8 by 7.5, plus we've got a top and a bottom, two sides that are 7.5 by 10, and we have two sides that are on the left side and the right side that are 8 by 7.5. Same sort of process with B. We have two sides that are 22 by 11, two sides that are 11 by 8, and two sides that are, what's the other one, 22 times 8. And then we want to subtract the intersection there. So we have two sides that are 5 by 5 and four sides that are 5 by 8. Why is it four sides? Because it's a square base on the prism. So all four of those sides that are vertical are going up and down. And so what we can do is just have this first line plus the second line minus the third line, and we'll end up with something. And so it's kind of a nice problem to do it that way. The other way to do it is to think about, like, if you have this length minus 5, then I guess you know that this is 6. If you take 5 away from here, you know that this is 17. And so you can like break it up into other triangles and get it that way. It should work out to be the same. So the first piece, I'm just going to type it all in. This is just working through all of the pieces. And then one little thing I didn't mention is that we need to subtract the entire purple thing. So I'm going to put parentheses around it. Otherwise, you're actually adding in the 4 times 8 times 5. So that would be off by a little bit. So what I end up with is 1132 square meters. All right, so supposing I did not, I see I made one mistake with how I typed it in. I did 2 times 55 instead of 2 times 5 times 5. So let's fix that. 1192. So 1192 square meters for the surface area. All right, so comment if I made a mistake or if you have any questions. Thanks.